This is Uprising. I'm Sonali Kolhatkar. Did you know that Uprising is now a TV show as well as a radio show? We rely on subscribers to our YouTube channel to fund the TV production of Uprising, and you can sign up to be a subscriber at youtube.com/uprising with Sonali. The tragic plane crash in the French Alps last week that killed 150 people is being treated with great sensitivity by authorities and the media. After all, the pilot was a troubled man with medical and psychological problems. He even had a doctor's note to call in sick, but ignored it, locked his co-pilot out of the cockpit, and flew himself and more than 100 other innocent souls to their doom. But what if Andreas Lubitz had been Ahmed or Mohammed? What if his skin had been a hue other than white? We know now how the script would have unfolded and how the T word would have been expressed at the outset before any facts came to light. Of course, I'm referring to terrorist. And here in the U.S., the hypocrisy is just as appalling. In mid-March, a 63-year-old white man named Richard White, who is a Jehovah's Witness, attacked TSA officers at New Orleans airport. And then 2 days later, a 67-year-old white man named Michael Sibley, based in Georgia, planted 2 bombs at a national park. The self-described patriot even planted a Quran with the bombs to make it look like a Muslim might have planted it. But there was so little news coverage of these 2 incidents that it's likely you would not have heard of them. What if the 2 men had been Muslim? We would have heard no end of the deadly specter of the homegrown terrorist. My guest is Dean Obeidallah. He is an award-winning comedian, co-director of the 2013 film The Muslims Are Coming. He writes regularly for CNN.com and the Daily Beast. Welcome to Uprising, Dean.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Now, what do you make of the news coverage of Andreas Lubitz? Have commentators humanized him? I've seen the words inner torment and depressed. I've even read that he was a gliding enthusiast and a former flight attendant, and he was unassuming and funny. And of course, we do need to see people's humanity, even that of criminals, but there seems to be a double standard.
There's no doubt there's a double standard. I don't think anybody objectively could deny there's a double standard if a Muslim commits a violent act versus a non-Muslim. If it's a Muslim, then really the investigation ends with the determination of the person's faith, frankly. It becomes, well, they're a Muslim, and they did it because of Islam, and they find out why they were radicalized, who they associated with, if they went to a mosque. They implicate their friends and their neighbors or anyone else they spoke to. If it's a non-Muslim, the first presumption is there's mental illness. We see this left and right. Obviously, with the co-pilot, Andrei Lubitz, if he had been Muslim, the coverage would be completely different. But that's really understood. It's really the lesser issues and the fact that the media doesn't even cover, with even half the zeal, attacks, violent attacks in America, which are arguably terrorism by non-Muslims. And that's why I wrote articles about both those issues you mentioned for the Daily Beast last week.